All rise. The Honorable Judge Javier presiding.
You may be seated.
State your name.
Cynthia Brown?
Do you understand the charges?
Yes.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Alright, can the prosecution please make the opening speech?
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are here today to present the case of Cynthia Brown, where on the night of August 6, 2004, Cynthia Brown blatantly murdered Johnny Michael Allen in his home after being there initially for an agreement for prostitution for an agreed price of $150. We will present the case where she robbed him of his car and weapons, and she could not confirm that he was reaching for a weapon to conclude that it was not an act of self-defense. We therefore charge Cynthia Brown with robbery and homicide.
For the defense, now read the opening statement.
My name is Aaron Alvarez, and I'm a defense lawyer for Cynthia Brown. Beside me, I have two other defense lawyers, Anthony Sandoval and Sanchez. May it please the court, you and ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Our defense is that we proclaim that Cynthia Brown should be held for defense, self-defense rather than homicide. We find the defendant not guilty. That concludes my opening statement, Your Honor.
Alright, would the prosecution like to examine you?
Keep going. Okay, Your Honor, as our first witness, we'd like to call Vanessa Sanchez to stand.
Place your right hand. Do you promise, or repeat after me, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise to tell the whole truth.
The whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
The whole truth. And nothing but the truth.
You may be seated.
Okay. Vanessa Sanchez, please state your name and your occupation.
My name is Vanessa Sanchez and I work at Sonic in Nashville, Tennessee.
Can you please describe how long your shift is at Sonic?
Approximately 30 minutes.
Can you please describe the situation you saw with Cynthia Brown?
Yes. The night, August 6, 2004, I was working my 5 through 11 shift. And Cynthia Brown, a regular customer, walked in Sonic, and she seemed a bit different this time. She seemed a bit anxious and nervous. So then when I took my break, it's around 30 minutes, and I then decided to observe her behavior. I was looking at her to see what she would do. She seemed nervous. She then approached different vehicles different times. This time she approached a certain vehicle. And it looked like to me she was talking to an older man. Around 5 minutes they were talking. But I did see that she was overprotective of her purse. She then got into the vehicle and they didn't drive off immediately. They were talking for about another minute. And then after that they slowly drove off the parking lot and onto the street.
Okay, so if a regular customer, was Cynthia Brown always suspicious or anxious whenever you saw her?
No.
Okay. How often does Cynthia visit Sonic?
Usually, the nighttime, usually my shifts. So yeah, usually in the nighttime.
So you can confirm that you see her every time you work?
Yes.
Okay. And going back to when she approached the car, did she seem frightened when talking to the man?
No, she did not.
Okay. Did the man ever try to force Centoya Brown into the car?
No.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defendant like to cross-examine?
Yes, we would, Your Honor. Ms. Sanchez, you say that the defendant was acting strange?
Yes.
By strange, what do you mean?
She seemed nervous and anxious.
She seemed nervous and anxious, so when she went up to the car that you said she met the older gentleman?
Like she was waiting. She was
was
waiting for someone.
Nervously, anxiously, right?
Yes.
As you stated, okay. But then you go on to say that she seemed calm when she approached the car?
Yes.
So she had...
As if someone wasn't gonna show up, and then she seen the car that she was looking for, and then approached it.
You remember the time of these events?
Yes.
Can you please state the time?
Around 8 o'clock.
Around 8 a.m. And did the...
8 p.m. Sorry.
8 p.m. Okay. Late at night. So you say Cynthia Brown is a regular customer. By regular, you see her how often?
I see her like 4 times a week.
4 times a week.
Usually in the nighttime.
Now, did you know that? Did Cynthia seem to know this man? Did she seem comfortable around him?
Yes, she did.
Well, it is stated that Cynthia was there to be a prostitute. She was there to get picked up by this middle-aged gentleman, the 16-year-old. And then, so you said she seemed
Anxious.
anxious when she left. And after that, that's all. You remember the next, right?
Yeah. It seemed like she was talking to an older man. Then she then entered the vehicle, and they didn't leave immediately. Seemed like they were having a conversation. Slowly drove off the parking lot, and then sped off onto the street.
You seem to have a very good view of the parking lot and how people are getting here. Did you happen to notice the way Cynthia arrived?
Excuse me? What?
Did you happen to notice the way Cynthia arrived?
Well, I was working when I seen her come in, so she just came in, and then I went onto my break, which is about 30 minutes, and then I seen that she had approached this car.
So her
And
and the
she
man
is a
did not,
regular.
so her and the man did not arrive together, and she had arrived at an earlier time.
Correct.
Correct. Defense. Rest. Yes, please.
Would the prosecution now like to re-examine you?
No, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Will the prosecution now call their second?
We would like to call Cutthroat to the stand.
Please put your right hand. Do you promise to swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Please state your name.
Cutthroat.
When did you first see or meet Centoya Brown?
It was the year of 2002.
Did you force her to leave her adopted mother or force her into the streets?
She ran to me, and I did force her onto the street.
Was your relationship always intimate with Centoya Brown?
Not always until the last few months. It has been.
On the night August 6, 2004, did you send Centoya Brown to the Sonic to prostitute herself?
Yes.
Did she go willingly or refuse to go to Sonic?
She went willingly.
Did you give Centoya Brown a loaded firearm to take with her?
No, I gave it to her for protection.
Would the defendant now like to cross-examine?
Yes.
So you say your name's Cutthroat, right?
Yes.
How did you get that name?
It's been like a childhood name.
Okay, I also read that you're a convicted felon. Can you maybe name some of the crimes you were convicted of?
Objection, relevance to the case?
Because I wanted to share with everyone that she might have forced her, so I wanted to get it out of her. And
Excuse me, Your Honor, that's not up to the attorney, it's up to you, so.
Sustained. Didn't want to know the subject.
what would have happened if Centoya Brown did not go through with the meeting with Mr. Allen? What would your reaction have been?
It just would have been, like, she wouldn't have done it and would just waited till the next day for more paying customers to come.
So there's no reason for my client to be afraid of you, then, correct?
To a certain extent.
Can you explain that, please?
Well, if she kind of goes against me, then there would be consequences.
And it also stated that you gave her a firearm.
Yes.
Is that an illegal one, or is it a legal firearm of yours?
It's legal.
I mean, I'll be this day.
Okay. Have you ever laid your hands on my client? Maybe just a little outside or something.
Me? No. Or yes, it's been. It's here.
With the prosecution now to re-examine.
Your Honor, the defense would call for further questions.
Bring my water.
Cutthroat, can you please explain your relationship to the defendant?
Hold on. Sit. Can you restate the question, please?
Can you please state your relationship to the defendant?
It's abusive and very unstable.
But earlier you told my colleague that there was no reason for my defendant to fear you, and here you just admitted in front of everybody to be an abusive partner.
Well, with each other. I'm not, it takes two to mingle.
She is
so.
16 years old, you are 24. Now, how far did this relationship go?
It's only well, it's been intimate.
It's been intimate. By intimate, you mean?
Sexually?
Sexually intimate.
Yes.
Well, after the proceedings of the court, you will be charged with unlawful sex with a minor. Okay, there's that. She get arrested now? I mean, she just kind of admitted to a crime.
Objection, you can't, this is not, it's irrelevant to the case, we're not casing.
You're badgering our
Cutthroat.
witness.
Yeah.
No, she admitted to a crime.
She confessed.
She could
Objection
she
is
could have
sustained.
pleaded the fifth.
She didn't confess.
She apparently wasn't allowed to plead the fifth once passed.
Objection is sustained.
So you said consequences. Consequences meaning what?
As in, like, she won't get her cut in the prostitution of the paying customers.
Just admitted to prostitution ring, okay. And so you admitted to giving the 16-year-old the firearm. Did you understand why you were dropping her off at Sonic?
What does that mean for?
Do you understand why you dropped her off at Sonic? Why did you drop my client off at Sonic to meet Mr. Allen?
Wait, what? Okay, wait.
Oh my God.
Why? Were you have any knowledge to the purpose of my client going to Sonic to meet Mr. Allen?
I never dropped her off. Like,
It is stated in the police report that you dropped her off.
Objection, we didn't see this police report.
It came with us, it was in the beginning of the assignment. It had the whole thing.
Never
on it.
said that Cutthroat dropped it.
No, objection actually to the police report. It says, never states that Cutthroat actually dropped her off. It just says on the night of August 6, 2004, Alan had picked her up in front of a Nashville, Tennessee Sonic drive-in for sex. Never does it state that Cutthroat initially dropped her off for that purpose.
I have the paper. Forgot.
Yeah.
Alright, so you admitted to giving the 16-year-old a firearm. You admitted to being in an abusive relationship with this 16-year-old. You admitted into sexual intercourse with this 16-year-old. Would it be fair to say that this 16-year-old is not in the most nurturing and stable environment?
Low
That
pencil.
there would be a reason to be nervous and anxious around a convicted felon who is, now remind you, 6 years her senior. She is a minor, him an adult. He has given her a firearm. He has admitted into putting her out for prostitution. Now I believe that my client did fear for her life in this whole event, and going on, I rest my questioning.
Would the prosecution now like to re-examine?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Cutthroat, you say that your relationship with Centoya Brown was intimate.
Yes.
Therefore, did Centoya Brown find it amusing? Did she find interest in you?
Of course you did.
So eventually it wasn't forced. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That it was.
So we can say, okay, so you say that prostitution was a key factor.
What do you mean by that?
So you basically, she would go prostitute for you.
Yeah.
So with saying that it wasn't forced, you can say that Centoya Brown allegedly amused you and it wasn't necessarily forced, stating that she could have left whenever she wanted.
Yes, correct.
Are you saying that you held her hostage? Did you point a gun to her head saying that she had to do this?
No.
So if Centoya Brown is able to escape from Cutthroat, initially not being forced to go prostitute herself, you're saying prostitution is illegal for her, that he forced her. Prostitution is legal on her behalf because she did carry the firearm. Going into the case with Alan, she carried a firearm for protection initially, knowing that she might have been in a possible situation with danger. She knew that from the very beginning. She did prostitute herself. She allegedly discussed with Mr. Allen $150.
Objection, Your Honor.
It does state that she was forced onto the streets by Cutthroat, a 24-year-old drug dealer and armed robber.
Mhm.
It does
Objection, Your
state-
Honor. There is no consent law. The consent age in Tennessee is 18. My client is 16 years old. Cutthroat is a convicted felon, 24 years of age, and has admitted to giving her the firearm. I rest my objection.
Therefore, as not forced, Centoya Brown does not have to accept the firearm. She could have refused if she was not forced. Is that what you're saying? If you're 16 years old, you're not my client, so I'm going to talk to you. So your client or whatever, your person, Centoya Brown, is 16 years old, not forced. You can say that the relationship was open. What other questions, John?
Would you guys like to re-cross-examine?
Isn't there?
No. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, no.
We have no time for that, sorry. You may ask to be seated. Are there any more?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Would you guys like to?
Yes, you would, Your Honor. I would like to call Javier to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Javier, can you please state your full name, occupation, and relationship to the victim for me?
My name is Javier San Pedro. I'm the coffee manager, and I'm the neighbor of Mr. Allen.
Neighbor. And can you please, so it's safe to say that you had several interactions with Mr. Allen,
Yes.
being his neighbor. Can you just give me a description on the type of person from his day-to-day interactions?
He looked mad all the time. He looked angry. Never happy.
So to say that you guys weren't the closest of neighbors.
No.
Any incidents?
Yes.
How many?
A few.
Few? Could you explain a couple of these incidents for me?
He got mad at me because I was watering my plants and the water hit his car. He came to my side and started dropping my trash cans in her.
And what did you proceed to do?
I called the cops. I went inside and called them and the key.
And the other incident, can you please describe me?
I was in my house. I was in my bedroom. I heard a gunshot. I went outside and I saw him drinking with the rifle.
You know, he's a retired military, is he not?
Yes.
And so you would say that this man is short-tempered,
Yes.
access to firearms,
Yes.
and very irritable.
Yeah.
Thank you. No further questions.
Would the prosecution now like to cross-examine him?
Yes, Your Honor. So you say you were his neighbor, correct?
Yes.
Have you seen him with any previous women besides Centoria?
No.
No, not even a wife, girlfriend, no relationship whatsoever. Okay. During the night of August 6th of 2004, what did you hear that night?
I heard a lot of commotion coming from their side of the house.
Such as what? Domestic abuse, maybe some rough housing?
Yes. Then I heard a gunshot.
And then, how many? Just one?
One.
Okay. After that, did you hear anything else?
No.
Not even a car drive down the driveway? No? Nothing. Yes, as in no, you didn't, or yes,
I
you
heard
did.
a car drive.
You did hear a car. Okay. Did you bother to look outside, or did you just stay inside? Did you call the cops? What did you do?
I called the cops, but I stayed inside.
You stayed inside. Okay. Besides that, you just stayed inside, did nothing. Okay. With that being said, do you believe that Alan would treat a woman like that at all? With his previous accidents?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't have any memories of him being nice to you whatsoever?
No.
Not even asking for a cup of sugar or anything? No. You could have it. No. Ex-military, comes home, and apparently he's a drunk, and he's just a bad person. Okay. According to this man.
Objection, Your Honor. He's insulting the claim of my witness.
Stand. Apologies. I do not wish to insult, I'm just clarifying. And you also said that Alan always looked mad, right? Why would you say that was stress, maybe sexual frustration? What do you think what that was about? You don't know? Yeah, so you weren't close to him at all. Obviously you said that. Apologies for that as well. Let's see. Crime night, you were there, you just heard a gunshot, you heard a car drive down, and that's it. And after that you heard nothing of family from him? No? Okay. Let me know further questions, Your Honor.
The witness now may be seated. Would you guys like now to call your second witness?
I call Cynthia Brown, the defendant, Cynthia Brown. Witness stand.
Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I do.
Can you please state your name and relationship to the victim?
Centoya Brown, there's no relationship besides him being a customer of mine.
Before meeting him, what were your feelings towards him?
Before meeting him, there was really no feelings, just a customer.
Okay. Where do you usually have the interactions with these customers?
Always in hotels for my safety purposes.
Always. Okay. Do you know why Mr. Allen insisted on going back to his house?
No, I do not.
And after dinner, he showed you his collections of firearms. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did that make you uncomfortable?
No, but the comment he made did.
Okay, what kind of comments did he make?
He was showing me one of his rifles and said from 100 yards he can kill me.
Wow. Okay.
Objection, hearsay.
She was there.
We don't have actual proof of this was said.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay would be
You
if,
object to the objection.
I object to the objection. Hearsay would be if she was told by someone that comment. She is stating that that's a direct comment to her. That's not hearsay.
It is currently hearsay because she is telling us today that this is what he said, and we have no further proof that this is what he actually said.
In her statement, she did include that.
Can you please point me out where in the statement it says that?
She is examining.
In the-
Finish.
In the police report, it
Your
is stated.
objection is overruled. You're sustained. You may go on.
Thank you. Okay, so after that comment, did you fear for your life?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the reason why you rejected all of Alan's advances?
Yes.
What happened after all those rejections? What happened?
We just went to the bedroom, lay down. I rejected him for the last time. He turned over, and then that's when I grabbed my gun. Well, he was mad that I rejected him for the last time, so he aggressively pushed me, and then that's when he turned around to grab something, and that's when I had got my gun and shot him.
Okay. How do you know he was reaching for a gun?
Because after I shot him, I went around and seen it.
Okay.
The prosecution would like to cross-examine you.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so going back to your story, can you account the first time you felt scared for your life while with Alan?
When he was showing me his gun.
So why did it take you so long to finally defend yourself when you say from the very beginning you were already scared?
Because he didn't actually do anything until I rejected him for the last time.
So can you say with all your customers you play hard to get? So why, if you know that prostitution is illegal and you having a firearm to protect yourself, if you know you're in a dangerous situation, why was this situation so special?
Sorry.
If you go into your customers, going with your customers, carrying a gun, knowing that you're in a possible dangerous situation, why is it that this situation was so special where you had to actually use your gun?
Because he was being aggressive.
So why didn't you possibly threaten him or try to get away initially?
Because he's obviously an expert knightsmith.
Okay, so knowing you were scared, knowing that possibly you might have to use your gun, why did you initially, you got into the bed with him? If you knew that you had no intentions of actually doing anything with him, since you were fearful, why did you still climb into bed with this man?
Because obviously if I didn't bring home the money to my so-called companion, I would have gotten consequences.
Okay, so you're saying that until after you shot him, you knew he had a gun?
Yes.
So say if you're walking down the street and someone reaches out for something, you're gonna assume someone has a gun?
No.
Okay, so why would you shoot this person not knowing for sure if he had a gun or not?
He was being aggressive with me.
He said, your other witness says that he seemed to be very aggravated. How do you not know that he was just aggravated, wanted to turn over, was done with you for the night?
Because obviously when I went to look what he was grabbing for, the gun was there.
Confirm that after you shot him, you saw him. Okay. Other questions? Your Honor?
Alright, so you claim that after you shot this man, you went to the other side of the bed and saw that he could have been reaching for a gun.
He was.
Now, it could have very well have been possible that one of the guns he was showing you happened to be in his room, since he had this big stash of guns, right?
Yes, but that was not one of the ones he showed me.
But you claim that he has a big stash of guns, so how can you be so sure
Because
that
he
this
said
was
he had
not
some.
another one that he had?
Because he said he had some put away.
So he has some put away, so you know that for sure.
Yes, he told me to.
Now, after you committed this crime, why did you then steal his guns and his car?
Because it was dark. I was scared. I wasn't sure if I actually killed him, so I grabbed the stuff and left.
You shot him in the back of the head and you weren't sure that you actually killed him.
It was dark. We were in his room.
So it was dark, yet you could still see that he could have been reaching for a gun,
Because I went to the gun.
but it was dark. How could you see that he was reaching for a gun?
Because I was like a foot away from it.
But you couldn't see anything else? You just saw the gun.
Over there, yes.
And then you went into his house and stole the rest of his guns.
I was already in his house, but yes.
So then why did you steal the rest of his guns?
Because I wasn't sure if I actually killed him.
So you took all of his guns,
Not all of them.
and then you took his car. So if you took all his guns, why take his car if you were still afraid that he was going to kill you? You have his guns, you have your gun. What else do you need?
Because he was a marksman. What if I didn't kill him and I was on foot running away from him?
You shot him in the back of the head. It's a pretty serious injury, even for a marksman.
Like I said, I didn't see. I wasn't sure if I actually shot him.
So you couldn't have been sure if you shot him in the back of the head.
Yes, I wasn't sure.
You've asked this question.
I'm just trying to clarify what actually happened because I'm getting mixed statements here.
She answered that question the same way as the first one.
I can't ask him.
Overrule, I'll allow it. It's clarification. Yeah, fine.
We have no further questions.
Will the witness now? We would like to continue for the question. I call now for recess. Court is now in session. Where we left off, we were cross-examining the defendant. Now with the defending side now, like to re-examine.
I just want to clarify one thing. So you said you took a firearm, you took his car. Why? Like, what were your intentions on doing so?
I wasn't really thinking at the moment. I was just really scared about the things that could be happening. And because, well, like, Cutthroat had said, like, you have an abusive relationship, so if I didn't do anything, or if he found out I did that, he could have hurt me, and I basically had my protection.
Okay, so you were scared because obviously things didn't go through with Mr. Allen. You had to protect yourself from Cutthroat.
Correct.
That's it.
You may.
Just, you can't do that.
Actually.
He's
There is,
Alright, now, you just claimed that when you took the guns and car, you didn't know what you were doing, you weren't thinking. That's what you just said.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Just clarify. Yet earlier, you told us that you were afraid that Mr. Allen might still be alive. That's why you took all his weapons, right?
Someone did.
Can you elaborate what you mean somewhat?
Yes.
Yes? So you took his weapons because you were afraid he might be still alive?
In a way, yes.
You wanted to defend yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you took his car. Where were the keys?
His like dresser in his hallway when we came in.
Objection, Your Honor, though, relatively to the placing of the keys to the case.
I'm good. Your Honor.
I'm still staying.
Can you tell us the direction that you're running this?
He's getting there. Continue.
So, you said you were afraid that he might not be dead. You shot him, but you were afraid he might not have been dead.
Yes.
And you were afraid what he might do to you.
Yes.
Yet you still had time to go around the bed, look that he had a gun, make sure that it was a gun, and go around his house, pick up his guns, find the keys, get the keys, and then leave with the car.
Well, technically on the way out, everything was in my pathway.
So everything was just conveniently laid out for you on your way there?
Well, he showed me where his guns were. I mean, obviously I knew where they were in the hallway. And the keys on his dresser on the way out.
How much time would you say that it took you to get all that together?
About 5 minutes.
In those 5 minutes, you don't think that Mr. Allen might have ran after you looking for some type of retribution?
I don't know.
Pretty safe to say that he died, right? Shot.
Objection, Your Honor, he's assuming.
Sustain. Unanimously. Proceed.
Where did you go afterwards in Mr. Allen's car?
I just kept driving, and then I just got out the car and started walking.
You got out of the car and started walking. Did you leave the guns in the car? Yeah. Did you take those with you?
I only had mine.
No further questions, John?
On the defending side now, I'd like to re-examine it.
No, Your Honor.
The witness may now be seated. Will the prosecution now make their closing statement?
No. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the court, or the jury, Centauria is clearly guilty here. She goes ahead and puts a .40 caliber round, despite apparently not knowing that it would kill Allen. Excuse me. Then she goes ahead and takes the time to take the keys, grabs numerous firearms, including handguns and rifles which cannot be simply fit in a handbag. Mind you, she probably had to take numerous out to the car, which she stole. And then she also claims that it was too dark to see a dead body, probably gashing with blood. Yet it was clear enough to see a firearm. Then,
Objection, Your Honor, that's what the dark does.
Yes,
that's what the dark does. Obviously the dark throws up the gun too. And then the witness that they go ahead and called up, he claims that Allen was an always angry man. Despite Allen being a real estate agent. Now if you ask me, the last time I checked, real estate agents are supposed to be people persons, nice, calm people who are supposed to talk to you and sell you the lot. So, obviously she's clearly guilty. Murdered a man, stole his weapons. It's right there in the police report. It's just to see if it was justified. That's the closing statement, Your Honor.
Thank you. The defending side now, I'd like to read the closing statement.
I think it's safe to say that Centauria Brown is not guilty. We, the lawyers, from all the information being presented, say two judges in finding Centauria Brown held for self-defense. I'd like to give the floor to our other defendant lawyer who would like to add some more information.
Your Honor, we have, from a very young age, very abused. She was abandoned by her mother, left up for adoption before she hit middle school, was then forced on the streets by a now self-incriminated felon, cutthroat, sexual predator. Let's assume she wasn't in the most stable part there. Picked up by a 43-year-old man. She was then taken to his home, far out of a comfort zone. Any of this should be comfortable to a 16-year-old. I don't believe so. And he was reportedly making disturbing comments on his skill with a firearm. And he was also very much so aggressive. So we have a 16-year-old trapped in on both sides by an aggressive partner felon, sexual predator, an aggressive client who has bragged about his shooting skills, who now, after finally being turned down for the last time, seemingly had enough. It was a dark room. She was scared, clearly, and it was in the heat of the moment that these unfortunate events happened. No, we would just like to rest our case.
Thank you. I will now ask the jury to retire and consider the verdict.
Where did they go?
Court is now in session. Jury, is your verdict ready?
Yes, Your Honor. On account of Santoya Brown, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of homicide and robbery.
Alright, so the sentencing for the defendant will be 30 years for homicide with an extra 3 years for robbery. I rest my case.
If you need to stand for a quick price, let me know.